computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
Hello, hello. How's it going, guys? How y'all doing out there? Y'all chilling? Chilling like villains, huh? Alright, guys, we're gonna start today's stream with something really funny. It's gonna be great. It's called the Mud Wizard. All right. So I'll just pull up our first topic. Close that. Okay. So this is a anti-coal protest that happened in Germany recently. January 17th, right? And I guess it was so muddy and wet that the cops were having trouble. The cops were struggling to like stop the protesters. Right? And this is really funny. I forgot to put my headphones on. This is really funny. I wanna show you guys this shit. Tell me this isn't the best fucking, like, background music for this situation. Ready? Look at this. It's gonna be fucking lit. Yo, look at this shit. Yo, look at this. Oh, the wizard! The wizard arrived! Oh, shit! Not the wizard, dude! Oh, the wizard! Oh, he's trying to help her out, you see? Like, he's trying to be nice to her. Bro, he cast a water spell. The wizard literally casted a water spell on them. This is mad funny, bro. Let's just watch this video for a bit. Just warm up. Because there's a lot of gruesome topics ahead. Oh, he gave her the sign and she just threw it. Damn, they have to drag her, bro. Look, they're sinking. They're wearing so much armor, these fucking pussies. They're wearing so... Oh, these buttholes. Can we say that? They're wearing so much armor, they're sinking into the fucking ground. Pardon my language. I'm sorry about that. That's not a word we should use. Probably on Twitch. I'm assuming. Oh. I don't know what they're doing. Oh, whoa, whoa, what do you do there? He pushed the officer down that was trying to get up, bro. That's the perfect music, though. Fucking, the Mud Wizard has struck again. And you know, the reason why... Let me stop the music real quick. The reason why these cops are there is to stop the protests from happening, because a lot of the time, these coal companies pay off the cops nearby. They pay the cops off to stop the protesters or the strikers or the unionized workers, whatever it is. They pay the cops to stop the protesters. But here, they clearly couldn't, dude. They couldn't, because the Mud Wizard's there. That's why I don't like the police. Fuck the police coming straight from the underground. He's like, you wanna come? You wanna come for me, bro? Shit. Yeah, this part's way better. Oh, he got hit in the head, dude. Oh! Oh, he tried to push him. Bro, that Mud Wizard looks like Igor, bro. I think he has a backpack under his hood. Under his cloak, he has a fucking backpack. He looks like a... Yeah, he looks like a fucking Igor. What's this called? A hunchback? Igor, right? I don't know. He looks like a fucking ogre, dude. Ogre. Yeah, you should shield. You should shield to defend from all the mud. All the mud being thrown your way. It's just mud. Dude, look at the wizard. He looks awesome, dude. He looks like a cool dude. Bro, he's a light build. He's light armor, bro. He doesn't weigh anything. These are heavy. These are tanks right here. These fucking cops are tanks. Heavy armor builds. Too heavy for the mud, man. Dude, they pulled a Henry VIII. What is it, Henry VIII? Was it Henry VIII or whatever that, Was it Henry VIII that fucking, like, used the battlefield, like, made mud? Basically muddied up the battlefield so that, when he fought the Britain or whatever the hell, I don't know, I don't know if it was French or Britain, but when they fought their enemy, like, it was so muddy, they basically used that to their advantage. They basically did that. The protesters did that. That's so great. Look at this dude. Police! The police are here. Oh, run away, the police! Alrighty. On to our next topic. So I made this little funny edit. This really funny edit of Steven Crowder. Because lately Steven Crowder has been getting a lot of backlash because he started a war between Daily Wire and his stupid show. And oh my god, like, there's so much stuff that's gonna be leaking out about him. I don't know if he should have picked on this. I don't know if he should have died on this hill, man. He should have just taken the $50 million. So basically, Daily Wire offered Steven Crowder $50 million for, like, all his content for, like, 6 years, I think it was. $50 million is a lot of money, and all you do is just do your show basically, and then a few more things, maybe a comedy show here and there. They said, but he declined it, and he's saying that they're big conservative, and that he's never taken a contract, and he's basically he doesn't want to sell out to YouTube or whatever, and it's so stupid. He doesn't make any sense because you already post all your content on YouTube. You already can be monetized on YouTube. You know what I mean? You already have to post everything on your Mug Club, whatever the hell that is. So I made this funny video criticizing Steven Crowder, you know, and also digging in deep into his history, finding videos that could maybe expose the truth of what might be going on behind him. Maybe this is why he started the war between Daily Wire. You know, I don't know. We'll see. Here's my little logo. Oh, I love it. Great little logo.
My surprise at all. Obviously, this really doesn't have anything to do with the Daily Wire. And his actions are a symptom of...
So this was Candace Owens, right? Candace Owens came out like a fucking attack dog. Like an attack dog, Candace Owens came out with a fucking a response, and she's basically leaking everything. She says that Steven Crowder, like, he's not doing so well. We need to pray for him. His life is in shambles. Like he's getting his life together. It's like
larger, and I want to choose my words very carefully here.
She's she's edging at the fact that he like that he needs to come out the closet or something. Like, it's crazy.
That's the best way to say it. He has a lot going on, and that should be clear because people don't do stuff like this if there's not a lot going on in their lives. You don't sell
a lot going on, dude.
Conversations.
He has a lot going on.
Of individuals
He's stressed
that are
out.
perhaps acting out of desperation. You have to dig deeper. You have to look deeper to fully understand the picture of why somebody might do that. And it's certainly not because somebody is upset with a $50 million contract. And because I now am more aware of certain information, rather than being angry, I would like to implore my audience and everybody that isn't paying attention to the situation not to condemn him, but to pray for him.
Pray for him.
Sometimes people need a prayer. Sometimes people need a scripture. You know,
pray for
Steven to be a Christian, and
he's a Christian. He purports to be a Christian. Pray for him.
He needs to lean into his faith, and
he needs to lean into his faith. That means she's saying that he's not leaning, that he's leaning away from his faith. So what is he? He either cheated on his wife, you know, or he's bi, or gay or something, right? And so we'll keep watching the video and we'll see what we uncover.
Information will come out. I do not think it is my place to say more than that. Well, probably what I should say is I am unsure at this moment if it is my place to say more than that.
Ooh.
Here we are.
She is blackmailing him.
Steven Crowder, who lacks pants, and we will get.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer? Every night, I can feel my leg, and my arm, even my fingers. The body I've lost. The comrades I've lost won't stop hurting. It's like they're all still there. You feel it too, don't you?
To all of the questions for Steven Crowder we were asked him, why indeed?
Yeah, for some reason, Steven Crowder, like, he did this bit. He did this bit with Ben Shapiro where he's, like, acting all sexy and shit. Acting all, like, sexy and, like, pulling, you know, like, wearing tight shorts and, like, you know what I mean? Like, so I think Steven Crowder is bi. There's a little thing in him that just isn't conservative enough.
For Steven Crowder we were asked him, why indeed he feels that it is necessary and appropriate for him not to wear pants and thus to show his junk needs. I'm so tempted to screw all of them up.
Yeah. Look at that hand posture. You can tell the relationship between Steven Crowder has always been love and hate.
Water in your own mug is always definitely a wonderful thing. You know, I just don't trust you. Well, back at you, dude. I mean, I'm the one wearing pants, so.
Ben might might have lip fillers to attract the talent that is Steven. Yeah, look at Ben Shapiro's fucking lips, guys. That looks uneven, but also it looks too fucking thick. His lips are too thick, dude. His bottom lips are too thick. What is that? What is that?
So all I can say is that before we began this interview, Steven
Look at
Crowder
those lips, bro.
in fact wearing pants. He walked into the room not wearing pants to make me specifically uncomfortable because, as most people know, I am deeply uncomfortable with male bodies.
Turned on. I think we had a guest who came in, or I was playing with my nipples. No, wait, that was where I have a hole in my sternum here, and no one believed me. So we tried to see. I have an inverted sternum. So I was
Oh, bro, he has a hole in his chest, dude. He has a hole in his chest.
sternum. Cheers. My back's gonna be strong. I have to get up and stretch right in front of you.
Well, please do not. And in any case, stop me.
Ha! Look at that smile.
You what?
Certainly not.
Whoa. Let's go back.
Stop me.
So Ben Shapiro says, I was not watching trans porn.
I was not watching trans porn.
You what?
You what? Exactly. What? What are they talking about? What are they talking about? Let's go back a bit.
You fit in my sternum. Cheers. My back's gonna be strong. I have to get up and stretch right in front of you.
Well, please do not. And in any case, stop me.
I saw that.
I was not watching trans
You
porn.
what?
I was not watching trans porn.
Like Alex Jones. I was certainly not doing.
No, you're watching interdimensional vampire.
That's correct.
They were watching interdimensional vampire porn. Yeah, that's an Alex Jones thing. Oh yeah,
In any case, let's talk.
you're
about
stupid.
The fact that you're a crazy person.
Oh, you're a crazy person. He calls him a crazy person. Yeah.
Now,
Oh my god.
again,
And then we got
I'm showing this
Ethan Klein.
not to not
And
to
I-
goof on them.
I love the H3 podcast. You know, shout out. I hope you guys can dig my channel out of the grave one day, out of the womb that it is, the baby. You know, and I can just throw some hearts my way. I fucking love your show. Ah. Anyways, I really agree with this point that they're about to make right here.
The man, because I think he needs to come out and be like. Imagine if Crowder came out, how joyous his life would be.
That would be really something for society.
So they're saying
And he
Steven
could be a
Crowder should
gay-
just come
he could
out.
be a gay
And I'm like,
icon.
yeah, he could be
do
like a
something good.
dude,
He
just
could-
join
he
the
could be a
left.
gay
You have enough
icon.
money already.
He also has like bear
Join the
status.
left.
He's pretty big. His heart. He has a weak
Bring
heart,
your
so you probably
audience to
need
the left. You know what I mean?
Probably need to be gentle with him. But that's
The left
tender
needs
love.
more
There are people like that, too.
more
Dave Rubin's
reinforcements.
a married gay guy.
Yeah, well, I'm not talking about him, Jordan. I'm talking about Crowder. I know it upsets you. Surprisingly candid moment with his audience.
Sometimes you have to make hard decisions, and sometimes you think you have to make hard decisions, and it's just wrong. I'm afraid of that. I'm afraid, frankly, I used to have a bad temper. I'm afraid of it coming back. I'm afraid of Mr. Hyde rearing his ugly bisexual head. That was a
Mr. Hyde rearing his bisexual head.
I'm afraid, frankly, I used to have a bad temper. I'm afraid of it coming back. I'm afraid of Mr. Hyde rearing his ugly bisexual head. That was a short phase. No, I'm afraid.
That
Afraid of-
is
afraid of-
literally not a joke.
Getting angry
That's,
Wait, can you
I know it's
rewind it?
Yeah, let's rewind this a bit.
to that. Yeah.
I know it upsets you.
So he says
Surprisingly candid moment
he
with
is
his audience.
scared
Sometimes
of
you have to
his
make hard decisions, and
bisexual side. He's basically scared of his bisexual side, Steven Crowder, which is crazy because he claims to be a conservative straight man or whatever, like someone who doesn't do that type of stuff. You know what I mean?
Sometimes you think you have to make hard decisions, and it's just wrong. I'm afraid of that. I'm afraid, frankly, I used to have a bad temper.
I used to have a
I'm
bad
afraid of it
temper.
coming back.
I'm afraid of it coming back.
Mr. Hyde
Mr. Hyde rearing his
bisexual
ugly
head. That was a
bisexual
short phase.
head. It was a short
No,
phase, he says. So he had a short phase where he was bisexual, and now he's working as a conservative, like, you know, millionaire fucking propagandist. You know what I mean?
Afraid.
That
Afraid of-
is
afraid of-
literally not a joke.
Spreading Christian values and like anti-gay values and anti-LGBTQ and you know what I mean? Anti-immigrant values. It's like, he's so fake. Go back to Canada, Steven Crowder.
That's,
Wait,
He's a
can you
Canadian.
I know it's
Canada
rewind
always
it.
sends us
Check
their
this out.
worst
This was the
people.
fans' response to it.
Canada
This
needs
is
to take
live
their
chat.
people back.
I gotta watch it again though.
Yeah, yeah.
Goddamn Canada. We gotta cut that
You think you have to
that
make hard
country
decisions,
off
it's
or
just wrong.
whatever.
I'm afraid of that. I'm afraid, frankly, that he used to have a bad temper. I'm afraid of it coming back. I'm afraid of Mr. Hyde rearing his ugly bisexual head. That was a short phase. No, I'm afraid.
He's afraid.
So, like, not a joke. In fact, so much so that this is the live chat, and this is sad. This is very sad, and this explains why.
Look at that.
You know,
Look at all the people making fun of him. Shame on Crowder for being bisexual. Like, why? How is that shameful? He said he's bisexual. Crowder is disgusting. Why? Why is he disgusting? These people are so mean. The right wing are just, like, evil. They're literally evil. Did you say bisexual phase? Is that a joke? Glad that Crowder came out as bisexual. Okay, this guy's nice. Walker, I'm proud of you. Oh, one good guy. Does Crowder admit to having bisexual phase? Yes, he does. Your bisexual Hyde merch revenge is what's right. Struggling here too. Kind of flew by that bisexual thing. That is all for now. Did you say you fear your bisexual self coming back like you had sex? See, so people are like shitting on him for being himself. And like that's not cool, you know what I mean? So I don't understand why he's doing all this right-wing propaganda. I think he's just doing it for the money. Like that has to be the only option. He just has to be doing it for the money cuz to be around people that hate you all the time, that doesn't seem like something that would make you happy. And it makes sense that he's unhappy.
He is not embracing his the part of him that loves to kiss and touch and fondle and be loved and love a man.
Is it really real? That is really sad.
Well, read the chat.
That
He
is
says
sad, yeah, dude. That's really
listen to this
sad.
person. Shame on Crowder for being bisexual.
He's
He said
literally
bisexual.
taking the
Crowder's
money
disgusting.
and
Did you just
working
say
for
your
the hate.
bisexual phase?
You know
Is
what I
that a
mean?
joke? Did
Like,
Crowder
yeah.
just admit to having a bisexual phase?
He's rich now, but now he's like living a shitty life. You know what I mean?
Did
like
you just say you fear your
it's like
bisexual self coming
a
back
yin
like
and
you had sex
yang
with a
kind of
guy?
situation. I don't know, like a curse.
Did you honestly? Yeah. So did you?
It's like a curse of the Midas touch. You know that story where like the guy touches everything and turns to gold, but he can't eat nothing because it's all gold. So it's like gold is good, but then like everything turns to gold. So it's like the same kind of situation. That he put himself in.
On fingers and ears, la la la. Male bisexuality is not real sentiment. Shame on you, Crowder. The Bible says it is an abomination.
The Bible.
Lord. What you did, shame on
Dear
you
Lord.
for being bisexual.
Exorcise
So this is
this
why, and this is actually really sad.
It is. I actually feel
The
bad.
Bible.
And he is religious, and I guess he has a religious upbringing. So this man cannot be who he wants to be.
Yeah. Okay. So we're done with that. Let's go on to our next segment. This is Lula da Silva, Brazilian president, defends Cuba and tells America to stop the blockade. You know what I mean? To like leave Cuba alone. So let's watch this.
Eu espero que também logo logo
Espero que pronto
Cuba
Espero que
possa
pronto,
voltar a
yeah.
processo de normalidade
Cuba pueda volver a un proceso
Cuba
de
pueda volver a
normalidad.
un
e
proceso de
se
normalidad.
acabe o bloqueio.
So he's saying he wishes Cuba can basically go back to a normal system of governance where they aren't under the threat of American blockade or sanctions, for example, because they've been under sanctions. Cuba has been under sanctions for fucking 60 years. 60 years, and it's still surviving. The only reason why they put Cuba in sanctions and did all these blockades and shit was because they thought, the CIA, I think it was the CIA, they thought that they could like basically starve the population and make them revolt and overthrow the government that's in there, which hasn't happened and isn't gonna happen. So just stop starving the people of fucking Cuba, please. I'm Cuban and they're my people. So please stop starving the people of Cuba, Biden, and every other president before Biden. Like, what the fuck? Like, just look at Taiwan and China, right? Look at Taiwan and China. In our scenario, we are the China of Taiwan. right? Because we're fucking over Cuba. China's fucking over Taiwan. They want to take it over. We want to do the same thing with Cuba. Why is that? Why aren't we the bigger country and we're like, okay, Cuba, you are our ally now. No matter what your government system is, we're cool. We're going to be allies. We're going to be friends. We're going to be trading shit. Why can't it be that way? I don't know. I don't know. I'm wishing too much.
A Cuba, que ya tiene más de 60 años, sin ninguna necesidad.
Porque os cubanos,
Porque los cubanos
eles não querem copiar o modelo do Brasil.
no quieren crear el modelo brasileño.
Eles não querem
So because the Cubans don't want to create a Brazilian model,
copiar o modelo americano.
No
and
quieren
they don't want to
copiar el
create a
modelo
U.S. model,
Eles querem fazer o modelo deles.
quieren hacer
they want to have their own model of governance, and that's so true. That's like literally fact right there.
su
That's
propio
fact.
modelo.
E quem é que tem alguma coisa a ver com isso?
¿Y quién tiene algo que a ver con
And
eso?
who has to
Eu
do with it?
espero
Like
que também logo
that's
Espero
their
que pronto
those
Cuba
are
volte a
their
voltar
like
a processo de normalidade.
those are their issues to worry about. America shouldn't worry about these issues. They should step out of their issues. We shouldn't be the China of Cuba or of Taiwan or well, you get the whole scenario or whatever. You get it. You know what I was trying to say. That like China, look at China and Taiwan. They're like they hate Taiwan. They want to take over Taiwan. They're a small island country, Taiwan. Look at Cuba and the U.S. It's like very similar. We should like be bigger men or bigger. We should be a bigger country or bigger women or whatever the fuck you want to say. We should be bigger than the other country and just like be allies with these small island countries. We shouldn't be picking on them. I rest my case. Let's keep watching.
Cuba pueda volver a un proceso de normalidad,
Que se acabe o bloqueio a Cuba, que já dura mais de 60 anos,
y que se termine el bloqueo a Cuba, que ya tiene más de
sem
60
nenhuma
años,
necessidade.
sin ninguna necesidad.
Porque os cubanos,
Porque los cubanos
eles não querem copiar o modelo do Brasil.
no quieren crear el modelo brasileño.
Eles não querem copiar o modelo americano.
No quieren copiar el modelo a Estados
Eles querem
Unidos.
fazer o modelo deles.
Quieren hacer su propio modelo.
E quem é que tem alguma coisa a ver com isso?
¿Y quién tiene algo que ver
Yeah.
con eso?
Eu espero que
Okay. So we're done with that story. We're going through these. So here's George Santos, a Republican, newly elect Republican. I don't know, is he a senator? Oh, he's a Congress. So this dude was elected to Congress, and he literally lied about everything. Literally everything. From his name to his date of birth to his mother's name to his mother's death to his mother's like whereabouts to his status as a drag queen, like everything. So let's watch this. We'll watch this one, this TYT one, and then we'll watch this one 10 days ago for next, okay?
All right, back on TYT, checking out with you guys. News.
I love TYT.
Get your seatbelt, okay? Because you gotta buckle up.
I
for
love
this
you,
one.
Anna.
Buckle up.
I love
Because the
you.
story's insane, and I don't like hype anything up the way I'm hyping this up because it deserves to be hyped. Okay?
There you
ready?
go.
All right.
Buckle up, buckle up.
A newly elected Republican congressman is a liar. I know it's not breaking news, except
It's
this
so
guy
they
takes it
all
to a whole
lie,
new
but this
level,
dude lies
and
on
the
everything.
Big failure here is really the New York Times. What do I mean by that? Okay.
Drums.
This is a story that should have been, I don't know, published during his campaign. You know?
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of an investigation during his
The
campaign.
media fucking
But no, the
sucks
New
in
York Times
America,
just
guys.
published this
The
story
media
about,
sucks.
again, a newly
They're all
elected Republican
liberal, they're all
congressman
corporate.
from Long
That's why I
Island.
go online and I like TYT and then other
it
smaller
turns
creators,
out that
other
he
smaller
has
news
lied about
channels.
everything. His name is
Look, I like TYT. I like Secular Talk. I love the Rational National. I love the Humanist Report. I love the Majority Report. I love. I like the Deprogram. They're a good podcast. I like Hassan Abi. He's pretty good. I like Dylan Burns. I like Shark 030. I like. Who else? There's a guy called Pillows that I just subscribed to. There's a guy called Hugin. Hugin! He's a Swedish dude. He's pretty lit. there's a lot of people that I like, and you know, because I don't like just watching mainstream media because they're trying to feed you a certain narrative. You know what I mean?
George Santos, and when I say lied about everything, I mean everything in his resume. He is the son of Brazilian immigrants, that we know is true, and the first openly gay Republican, we don't know if that's true, to win a House seat as a non-incumbent. By his account, he catapulted himself from a New York City public college to become a seasoned Wall Street financier and investor with a family-owned real estate portfolio of 13 properties and an animal rescue charity that saved more than 2,500 dogs and cats. Wow, that is quite a resume.
And it is awfully specific. I mean, it wasn't 2,600 cats and dogs or 2,400, it was 2,500.
Now, the New York Times investigated these claims after he got elected, of course, and found that, wow, there's a lot of inconsistencies here. Looks like he might be lying about a lot of this stuff.
No.
Citigroup and Goldman Sachs, the marquee Wall Street firms.
Yeah, so this
Santos's
newly elected congressperson, George Santos, which is probably not his real name, or it might be. I have no idea. It might be something else, actually. Something Anthony Devolver? Or that might be his fake name that he's using. But anyways, this dude literally stole money from a homeless veteran who had a dog with cancer. And a big tumor was growing on the dog. And the homeless veteran wanted to set up a GoFundMe for the dog's treatment, right? And this dude just stole the money and left. The poor homeless veteran. So much for Republican values, huh? Wow. Wow. Good job, Republican Party. You guys were so nice.
Campaign biography had no record of him ever working there. Officials at Broush College,
Republican
which
Party
Santos
is
has said
so
he
evil,
graduated from
man.
in
They're so
2010,
evil.
could find no record of anyone matching his name and date of birth graduating that year. It gets even crazier, okay? But
yeah.
how are we learning about this now?
Well, I can tell you how. I ran for office at the congressional level, as this guy did. And
yeah, it turns out that guy that defrauded the homeless veteran with the dog that had cancer also was a drag queen in Brazil. And he was elected to the Republican Party. And they don't hate him for being a drag queen. So they only hate drag queens that aren't rich and powerful and in political office. That's the Republican Party. They hate anyone else that isn't in their side.
Contradicting conclusions, but there's a reason for it. So number one, local races get no coverage at all. So you could make up anything and nobody in the press will bother investigating. No one will call you out on it. But there's a catch, and this is the contradictory part. So that's if you.
And look, I love drag queens. I'm not hating. I'm just saying, like, Republicans hate drag queens and LGBT people. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's kind of ironic that they're electing someone that this stuff with this past. You know what I mean? Very ironic.
15 years ago, just so they could say, "Aha, goddamn outsider!" Okay, look at the thing that he deleted 17 and a half years ago. That's why you should never elect him now.
No, but there's a lot of truth to what he's saying. So take Cenk out of it for a second and consider the fact that this guy actually ran for Congress back in 2020.
Okay.
But back in 2020,
he ran before.
Presented himself as like this diehard Trump loyalist. He did not present himself as a moderate. This time around, though, he did present himself as a moderate. So look, I'm
moderates.
joking about him.
Don't vote for moderates.
And saying,
don't vote for moderates. Moderates are usually corporate Democrats or just Republicans. They're either corporate Democrats or Republicans. That's what a moderate is. Don't vote for moderates. You gotta vote for progressives or leftists or socialists or, you know, if you want to go as far as communists, you can go ahead. But those people usually don't win because our system hates them.
I don't know if that's
our system's scared of communism, guys. Spooky
orientation is or whatever. Like
spooky word.
I say that because now I'm wondering, did he just say that to appear moderate?
Yeah, if you say gay Republican to a mainstream media guy, they'll be like, "Oh, that's perfect. Moderate Republican, love it." Right?
Right.
So, and this guy is obviously a pathological liar.
Yeah, he's a pathological liar. Like, he lies about everything,
including whether he's gay or not.
He said his mom died at 9/11. He said his mom was in the buildings when the towers collapsed, but she wasn't. He lied. He lied.
Right. I
He's
mean,
a liar.
So when he ran again the second time, he like scrubbed his website of any like Trump love and all of that stuff. So anyway,
He is
now let's
such
get
a
to some
liar,
of his
dude.
other lies. He
It's
also
crazy.
claimed that he went to NYU. No record of that whatsoever. He lied about that. Jesus Christ. There's also no record of his animal rescue group, Friends of Pets United. So it's a charity, right? So it should have some sort of filing with the IRS. The New York Times looked into it, no filing with the IRS whatsoever. But he did hold a fundraiser, get a load of this, in New Jersey with the New Jersey Animal Rescue Group back in 2017.
Oh my God. He held an animal. He held a what?
In New Jersey.
A fundraiser?
whatsoever. But he did hold a fundraiser.
He held a fundraiser with Dr. Oz. Oh my God, Dr. Oz. Why are you going to New Jersey where Dr. Oz lives? Get out of New Jersey.
Get a load of this. In New Jersey with the New Jersey Animal Rescue Group back in 2017. And as part of the fundraiser, the cost of entry to
Don't go to
this,
New Jersey.
big event was $50.
Dr. Oz is
and he
around.
claimed that the money was going to go to, you know, a specific organization. Okay.
FOPU?
No, we don't know because the organization spoke to the New York Times. They wanted to be anonymous because they're afraid of retaliation, but they're like, we didn't receive any funds.
Oh,
Yeah, he lied.
I'm kidding around about FOPU.
I don't know what that is.
Friends of Pets United.
Oh, Friends of Pets United.
It
FOPU.
sounds like something you need to know. Come here, FOPU. Come here. Okay, all of it is made up.
No, it
Come
gets
here,
crazier,
Fopu.
though. It gets so crazy. He said in an interview on WNYC that his company, which he did not identify, lost 4 employees at the Pulse nightclub shooting in Orlando in June of 2016.
What an outrageous lie.
But a Times review of news coverage and obituaries found that none of the 49 victims appear to have worked at the various firms named in his biography.
Of course. Of course.
Oh my God. And by the way, like,
of course.
Where did he get his money from? Because he did loan money to his own campaign. So there's something going on. His financial...
I would not be surprised if this guy turns out to be like a Russian-funded, you know, like a Russian-funded politician. You know, he takes Russian money or something.
Disclosure forms suggest a life of some wealth. He lent his campaign more than $700,000 during the midterm election, has donated thousands of dollars to other candidates in the last 2 years, and reported a $750,000 salary and over $1 million in dividends from his company, the DeVolder organization. So what is the DeVolder organization?
Things that devolve?
Well, this candidate, or I should say now congressman, has devolved quite quickly, right? Now, his firm is shrouded in mystery. There's a lot we don't know about it. And on a campaign website, he described DeVolder as his family's firm that managed $80 million in assets. On his congressional financial disclosure, he described it as a capital introduction consulting company.
Sure, of course.
A type of boutique firm that serves as a liaison between investment funds and deep-pocketed investors. But Santos's disclosures did not reveal any clients, an omission 3 election law experts said could be problematic if such clients exist. What? So we don't even know what religion he is because he's been inconsistent on that. So he has described himself as a non-practicing Jewish person, but at the same time,
he says he's Jewish.
He also said that he's Catholic.
But
he
he's
also
not
claimed
Jewish.
that he made his family's fortune through real estate.
He said he was Jewish, but then he said, I'm Jewish? You know what I mean? Like, not Jewish. Like, I'm Jewish. I'm Jewish. Like, what does that mean? You're not Jewish, bro. You're Catholic.
However, he has
Get the
not
fuck out of
disclosed
here.
any record of his properties. So remember, he's like, I got 13 properties. But okay, well, all right. Well, where's the documentation for that? There's some chance that he lied about his resume to seem more moderate, as we mentioned before. And new revelations uncovered by the Times, including the omission of key information on Mr. Santos's personal financial disclosures and criminal charges for check fraud in Brazil,
Check
have
fraud.
the potential to create ethical and possibly legal challenges once he takes
He's
office.
a fraud artist.
So
Why
back
does
in
the Republican Party?
back in
Why does the Republican Party only hire fraud artists? Why do they only elect fraud artists? Like, because they're fraud artists. Don't go Republican, guys, please. I beg you. I beg you, anything you do, don't vote Republican, because a lot of the time, normal working class people think, oh, he's gonna cut us a tax break. Oh, a tax break. No, that tax break is gonna be for the 1%, okay? They don't care about everyone else. They don't care about the 99%. They don't care about the poor, okay? All they're gonna do is just give you a tax break that's not permanent. But you know who's gonna get the permanent tax break? The rich are! Of course! Companies, the rich, they're gonna get the permanent tax breaks, but the regular people aren't. It's bullshit.
In 2008,
not
when he was
fair.
19 years old, he had decided to steal a checkbook from a man that his mother was actually caring for, and then use that checkbook to make all sorts of fraudulent purchases. Police and court
Wow.
records show that Santos used the checkbook to make those fraudulent purchases. He got arrested for that, but he also, 2 years later, he also confessed to the crime and was later charged. He also faced eviction 2 times, once in 2015 and another time in 2017. In May of 2017, Santos faced another eviction case from a rent-stabilized apartment in Sunnyside, Queens. Santos's landlord accused him of owing more than $10,000 in rent, stretching over 5 months, and said in court records that one of his tenants' checks had bounced. A warrant of eviction was issued, and Santos was fined $12,208 in a civil judgment. But guess what? After that happened, he decided to campaign on behalf of landlords and against tenants.
Wow.
So here's a tweet to give you an example. He wrote,
What a
"Will we
butthole.
landlords ever be able to take back possession of our property? My family and I, nearing a 1-year anniversary of not
Santos
receiving
for
rent on
Congress.
13
Oh my
properties.
God.
The state is collecting their tax, yet we get zero help from the government. We worked hard to acquire these assets."
Did you? Did you?
Insane.
So I got to give him credit. That's method acting. He's really like living the role. He's like in his head. He does have the 13 properties. As I was going through this story, I thought to myself, there's only 2 possibilities for where he got the money. One is family. His family left him some decent chunk of money, but they're not doing any, private financing or hedge funds or private equity or none of that stuff, right? Some family member left him a chunk of change, right?
So he's just a rich kid.
And this goofball is playing around with it. Or
there's scamming going on.
yeah, or he stole it, right? Those are the only 2 options, right?
Or he stole it.
Maybe there's a magical third option, but I don't look like it. And so it looks like it's the scam.
Look at what a loser, bro. Look at this guy. Someone didn't stuff this guy in a locker. Listen, I've been bullied, but people like this need to be bullied. I'm sorry. Fraudsters and Republicans gotta be bullied. Republican candidates need to be bullied. Republican politicians gotta be bullied and stuffed in lockers.
Scams rather than the family.
In Minecraft.
But it also reminded me of a story from my personal life. We once met this guy who was going to get married to a family friend's daughter. And he had gone to NYU, he said, for undergrad for business school. I was like, oh, that's what I asked, okay? I had gone to undergrad for business school. Then he applied for law school, and I applied for law school. And he got into Harvard. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. And when my dad and I asked him, what'd you get on the LSATs, right? Because we were super curious, and we're at a family dinner. And then he gave us a number
that made no sense.
That didn't exist, okay? It was above the maximum.
Man,
It was above the maximum. Now, but
but look, we live in a society where people do not do their due diligence.
We live in a
okay?
society.
You have never checked to see whether or not I actually graduated from Cal State Northridge.
That's true.
We live in a society,
Maybe I lied
folks.
about going to a Cal State school. Maybe I lied.
On the other hand, a former employer of mine did do their due diligence. He didn't believe where I went to school that he said, if you show me a transcript from Columbia and Wharton, I'll just give you the job, okay? And I showed it to him the next day, and he gave me the job.
Nice.
Man, that is not nice.
Damn.
That's not nice at all.
I know. He assumed that I was a scam artist. See, there's a guy doing due diligence. Anyway, back to the other family friend. We told the family that was involved. We said, look, this is super awkward, but we think that don't get married to this guy. We think he might be a pathological liar. There is no such score in the LSATs, right? And of course they didn't want to hear it, so they ignored us. Which the reason I bring that up to you guys now is because that's the Republican voters. You tell them, look, these guys are obviously lying to you, right? And the Republican voters go, don't care. I don't care. Yeah, was it not obvious that Trump is a pathological liar? They don't care. They want him to lie.
But let's just be clear. In the case of Trump, you're right. But in the case of the Santos guy, you're wrong because literally no one knew what a pathological liar allegedly this guy was until the New York Times decided after the midterm elections to investigate this.
Now look, so credit where credit is due and discredit as well. But so number
Credit,
one,
yeah,
you're
she's
right.
right.
To be fair to the Republican voters, they haven't had a chance to vote yet since they have found out the news that he's lied about.
Yeah, this news came out way too late.
Are you sure he's not going to get reelected?
But they're going to reelect him,
really
though.
sure?
I feel like they're going to reelect him. They don't care.
And then number two is credit to the New York Times that at least they did it afterwards. I mean, at least somebody turned them on to the story and they bothered to do an actual investigation. Should they have done it earlier?
They don't care.
Back to my race for one last comment. LA Times reporter talking to me, different times, but he's covering up a fake scandal. They're going to write a huge story about it to try to hurt my chances of winning, but mainly Bernie Sanders' chances of winning, because that's when they care. That's when they want to do investigative journalism, right? And find out nonsense. But I say to him at the end of the interview that he did with me, are you guys ever going to cover the policies involved in this race? And he said, honestly, and I give him credit for being honest. He said, no, we'll probably never write a story about that.
Well,
and
and
it's true, they didn't.
The proof is in the pudding.
The LA Times in a congressional district in LA chose to write no articles about policy or anything else of substance. And that's why guys like this think,
I'm trying to figure
hey,
out how to
if I'm
share my
gonna
stream
lie
on my
a
other
massive
socials.
record-breaking scale, where would I go? I'd go into politics, where there's nothing but liars and the media barely ever checks.
Now, he denies that he's lying. I want to be fair and give you his statement because after the New York Times published this, his office released a statement. George Santos represents the kind of progress that the left is so threatened by. Bro, I didn't even know
the
who
left
you were
is
until today.
threatened
Yeah,
by
so
me.
threatened by Santos, the Jewish Catholic real estate dude.
A gay, Latino, first-generation American and Republican who won a Biden district in overwhelming fashion by showing everyday voters that there is a better option than the broken promises.
What a
and
liar,
failed
dude. He's
policies
a
of the Democratic Party.
liar.
You can read the
What
rest
a
for yourselves.
Weasley little liar,
I
dude.
would like to see him actually respond to
What
all
a
of the
Weasley little
inconsistencies that the New
liar,
York Times has
dude.
exposed in their piece.
Yeah, show us FOPU. Where's FOPU?
Can someone
Where's
tell
Friends of
George
Pets United?
Santos that he's
And
lying?
with a comment from one of our members, YouTube member Dirt Flyer wrote in, Santos would fit in perfectly in Congress.
That's true.
And
True,
to be fair,
yeah,
that
he's
is an
right.
excellent point. In fact, it's such a good point. $100 gift card. from
Oh,
Blue Apron.
damn.
Email rewards@tyt.com. They'll confirm who you are, and you'll get free food for contributing to the show. We love our members. Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it.
Damn, good
Another way to show
job. He
support
wants
is
some
through YouTube.
food, bruh. He wants some food. Here's the second George Santos, guys. He's the second George Santos allegations.
Turns out that
So besides him scamming dogs with cancer and homeless veterans, besides George Santos scamming homeless veterans and dogs with cancer, stealing all their money, he also allegedly performed as a drag queen in Brazil.
Freshman congressman and well-known
Let's
pathological
learn about it.
liar George Santos competed
Welcome,
in
whoever
drag
just
queen
joined.
beauty pageants when he was living in Brazil. This is from 15 years ago. There is
15 years ago.
evidence that has surfaced lately as a result
Juicy,
of this
juicy
story.
evidence. Juicy,
I
juicy.
don't, look, obviously, I think there's nothing wrong with drag queens.
Look, there's nothing wrong with being a drag queen. Like, honestly, I would love to go to a like a drag show. That seems pretty cool. Go with my girlfriend or whatever. But like, when you're a Republican and you're just like, you hate on these people, you are causing damage to the community. You know what I mean?
Think that they're fun, but the Republican Party has spent a lot of time in recent months making it appear as though drag queens should be public enemy #1, that they're super dangerous, that they're corrupting the minds of children across the country. And so maybe that's the reason why George Santos has decided to deny that he competed in drag queen beauty pageants in the past, but we do have the evidence. Stick around for that.
So
But first, how did we find out about
I
this?
wonder
How did
with
it
all
come
this
to
new
light,
evidence, I
Jake?
wonder if
Turns
the
out that
Republican
someone,
Party would vote
who was
for George
an
Santos
acquaintance
the
of
next
his,
time around.
came forward.
I bet they still will.
This
I bet they don't
acquaintance
care,
spoke to MSNBC
even though they're
journalist
Republican
Marissa
and they hate
Cavas, The 58-year-old
LGBT culture and all that, you know what I mean?
Uses the drag name Eula Rochard.
Eula, where is it?
Said
Eula
she
Rochard.
befriended the now congressman when he was cross-dressing in 2005 at the first Gay Pride parade.
All right, my boy's pretty progressive. Okay.
3 years later, Santos competed in a
Gay
drag
Pride
beauty
parade.
pageant in Rio,
That sounds lit.
according to his acquaintance. Now, everyone knew him as Anthony, never George, or by his drag name
Anthony.
Kitara.
Oh, he lied.
And
He lied about
she
his
provided
name.
receipts. So I know it's a grainy image, but on the right-hand side, that is where you will see George Santos.
Okay, you can kind of make out
on
George
that one,
Santos.
I wasn't positive that it was Santos, even though everybody was saying it was clear.
But we have more evidence.
But then
But
I
there's
saw the
more
second
pictures.
picture and I was like, oh yeah.
Graphic 4.
Look at him.
Yeah, that's
Oh
That's a
shit,
much,
dude.
much
That's
clearer
him,
picture.
dude.
Look at the cheeks, look at the nose.
He
look
looks
at the
beautiful,
eyes, look at
man.
the
I'm not
teeth.
gonna lie.
That's definitely him.
He looks great.
So, well, now he's in trouble.
Is he though? Is he though? Because look,
I don't know. I feel like the Republican
do
Party
I
will
think
still vote
that
for him. I don't know.
Conservatives and the Republican
Maybe
Party in
not,
general
though.
genuinely sees drag queens as a threat
I don't
to
know. Maybe they
children?
won't.
No.
Maybe they'll freak out
But
about
what
this.
they love to do is provide the squirrels. And they love to find and target a particular group to fearmonger about for their campaigning purposes. Because again, what else would they campaign on? Their crappy economic policies that rig the economic system in favor of the rich and to the detriment of the poor? That wouldn't play so well with their base.
Yeah, no, I know, Anna, but that's why he's in trouble. So,
Oh,
look,
yeah. He might be in trouble
If you're a
then.
Republican, can you lie and get away with it?
Yeah, you can
We're not
lie.
Mainstream media. Almost all the Republicans lie. Almost all the
But you can't be
politicians lie.
gay,
Republicans
like,
and Democrats.
or
And
whatever.
We're talking about lying. We're talking about lying.
They don't like
The
that.
leader
You know
of
what I
the
mean?
Republican
Like, you
Party
can't
was
just be
Donald Trump.
gay or like drag
I'm not
queen
sure
or
who's a bigger pathological liar, Donald
they
Trump or
will like
Santos.
literally hunt
Now,
you
the
down.
Media makes it sound like, oh, Santos, the
So-
one guy who's a liar, who's a politician. Are you guys kidding me? Are you
I think with all this new information that's come out, I think the Republicans, like the voters, they might flip on him.
joking? Okay. So of course the Republicans don't mind him being a liar. Not only the Republican politicians, and McCarthy, remember, needed his vote as he was trying to become Speaker of the House. That's why he backed him. And remember that he won in a district that is actually a Biden district. So the Republicans don't want to get rid of him because of that, because they were afraid of losing the seat, right? Because it's all about power. So that's why I thought Santos was pretty safe. Like, liar, they're like, welcome to the party, right? And then he, apparently we found out the other day that he, he took $3,000, said he was going to save a dog's life, let the dog
A
die.
homeless veteran.
A homeless
who had
veteran.
A service dog that
Who
needed
had a service
surgery
dog,
to
yep.
live. Unfortunately, crossed paths with George Santos,
Oh, my bad.
who put up a GoFundMe fundraiser page for the surgery, but then took the money and ran.
Yeah,
but
he
do
took the
Republicans
fucking
mind
money
that?
and let the dog
No,
die,
Trump
bro.
ripped off veterans all the time.
Yeah.
Right? Trump ran a fake charity, just
Yeah,
like George
that's
Santos
true.
did. But Trump's fake charity had a lot more money, and they would use it for absurd things like buying a giant painting of Donald Trump twice. Okay, and he had to pay a fine and shut it down because even Trump admitted it was a scam. So they don't mind any of that. You think they mind the dead dog? I mean, this country goes nuts for dogs, right? But even that, they would be like, who cares? It just shows that he's vicious. And Republican voters like vicious, right? And they're like, a con man, that's smart, it's good business. It's good business. Whoever gave him money is a sucker and a loser, right? But a drag queen, we can't have it.
No, but
Yeah,
let
I
me
don't know
finish
how
my
they're gonna
thought,
have that.
because they scaremonger about drag queens for campaigning purposes because they want power. But once they have the power, they don't care.
I
right?
know, but it's embarrassing them.
Do
Like,
you think the Republican Party is capable of feeling embarrassment, Jake?
yes.
What?
And so hold on,
Wow.
hold on.
Okay, I'm holding.
So, and this might be missing a critical element. I know
probably.
that. But remember, Madison Cawthorn did
Yeah.
embarrass them. And he
Remember Madison Cawthorn? He was this guy in a wheelchair. He was this handsome Republican congressman. And there was a bunch of videos that came out of him dry humping his cousin or whatever, like, on the bed, like, just playing around. He said playing around, like, just air hump, like, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Anyways, but yeah, like, he immediately got booted out of Congress.
because he mentioned that they were doing orgies and they were doing cocaine.
Yep.
Okay. And what did they use to make sure that he lost? They showed pictures of him cross-dressing.
I know, but they went after Madison Cawthorn because he
True, they did go after
said
him.
something
They might not go
that
after
could
George
potentially hurt
Santos.
members of the Republican Party, so they retaliated.
I know, but the reason that why this hurts members of the Republican Party is because they're all going on the warpath against you. They say, oh, we don't mind drag queens. We're just worried that a single child might see it. And then all of a sudden they would become gay or something, right? So that's their whole, what else do they have? They don't have anything else. Like Anna said earlier, it's not like they're gonna fight for workers. So this undermines their one thing,
Oh,
which
look
is
at those
all the people we hate.
queens. Yes,
So
queen.
it's tough to hate him when Santos apparently was a drag queen.
Yes,
so look, I'm not saying they're gonna get rid of him because they still need that seat.
Yeah, they're not going to get rid of
Okay, but I'm just saying this makes it. This is the thing that makes it the most likely out of all the different horrible things that he's done. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with being a drag queen. My point is, Republicans will take a thing that's perfectly benign and say that's way worse than him being a liar, a thief, etc.
Yeah, look, there is, in my opinion, nothing that could potentially come out about this guy that would convince Republican leadership to pressure him to resign or for Republican leadership to retaliate against him the way they did with Madison Cawthorn. I would be shocked.
Probably right.
Especially considering that seat that he won, that George Santos won, was held by a Democrat and it was flipped by George Santos. In their minds, forcing him to resign and potentially having a special election would make them lose another member of the Republican Party in the House, which would make their slim majority in the House even slimmer. Right? So I doubt they're gonna do anything. At the end of the day, everything they do is motivated by their quest
politics.
for political power.
Power, yep,
okay?
power.
So with that said, let's talk about how he was a really bad drag queen, because that's fun, okay?
Right.
So Richard said the congressman was a poor drag queen in 2005 with a simple black dress, but in 2008, he came back with a lot of money and a flamboyant pink dress to show for it. Santos competed in a drag beauty pageant that year, but lost. So he tried to bring it, but didn't really bring it. He's changed a lot.
So all his corrupt
he
money, he took it and he bought a nice dress with it.
He was always such a dreamer, Richard said. And so he, by the way, denies all of this. He's like, people are showing pictures of me dressed as a drag queen and accusing me of being in drag queen beauty pageant.
That's AI art. That's Photoshop.
Yeah. I mean,
He's talking about lies.
He lied about where his mother was on 9/11.
Yeah, remember I told you guys that?
He campaigned claiming that his mom was at the towers on September 11th. Luckily, she escaped, but she became very sick thanks to that toxic dust and died because of 9/11 due to the inhalation of that. Turns out she wasn't even in the United States. She was in Brazil at the time.
Brazil.
Yeah, well, that toxic dust does travel. Could have reached all the way to Rio. By the way, she died 15 years later. Okay, but tell me the difference between George Santos and Donald J. Trump. All right, while you're doing that, we also have a poll for you guys.
They're both crazy,
what is he more likely
egomaniacal
to
liars.
get in trouble for? Participating in a drag show or scamming a homeless veteran and letting his dog die. Now, Americans love veterans. They love dogs.
Let's find the homeless veteran
Republicans
picture.
Still human? Do they still like these dogs and veterans? We'll find out.
Every day,
Let's find that one. Your ex? What the fuck? Where is the homeless veteran one? Where's the George Santos dog? Come on. George Santos dog. Here it is, guys. I found it 11 days ago.
I also knew him as Anthony Zabrowski.
So you knew him. Why did he say he had two names then?
Well, he he used Zabrowski for his Friends of Pets United, his
wow,
his GoFundMe, and he would say, "Oh well, you know, the Jews will give more if you're a Jew," and so that's the name he used for his GoFundMe's.
wow.
You just heard from the former roommate of
The Jews
freshman
would give
Republican
more if you are
Congressman George
Jewish,
Santos.
if you fake your
And
name.
not only did he lie about his heritage, something that we have talked about on this show before, George Santos also stole that particular roommate's Burberry scarf, which they also discussed in that interview. But for the purposes of this story, I actually want to focus on something else, which is George Santos's alleged dog
His
charity,
neck.
animal charity, which turned
He has
out
no
to be
fucking
a bit
neck,
of a
bro.
scam, according to one formerly homeless
George
veteran
No Neck
who
Santos.
had the misfortune of crossing paths with George Santos and accuses him of scamming him in his moment of need. Now, in 2016.
Oh, by the way, let me just do a little subscriber recap or follower recap. We've had a few. We've had Corvo. Corvo was our first person.
I have smoked many, many cigars, more than even
Thank
the
you,
most
Corvo.
accomplished
We
cigar
appreciate
smoker
Corvo.
in
We
Cuba.
love you, Corvo.
As a point of
Polvo
fact,
Bianco Nero. I don't know if that's the Spanish name or what,
undisclosed location,
but we love you, Corvo.
and I never am without a cigar.
When I inhale at night, I inhale from a giant cigar. All right, we also have Jesus Castanon. Thank you, Jesus. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. We also got Austin Allison. Thank you, Austin. Oh yeah, Austin. I think that's Elon Musk. And then we have Rubius. Thank you, Rubius. I really appreciate the follow. All right, get out of here, Austin. We get it. Let's stop showing off, Austin. We got Rubius next. Thank you, Rubius. If it even...
I have smoked
There we
many,
go. I
many
appreciate it,
cigars, more than
Rubius.
even the most
You're
accomplished
awesome. You're
cigar
all
smoker
awesome. I
that you
appreciate the
ever met.
follows.
As a point of fact, I'm smoking a cigar right now in an undisclosed location. And I never am without a cigar.
When I inhale at night, I inhale from a giant cigar. All right, let's keep going.
A veteran by the name of Richard Ostoff was homeless and living in a tent in an abandoned chicken coop. Now, he did have some company, his service dog, a pit bull mix named Sapphire. Now, there they are. It's a really sweet photo. Just want to warn you guys, this story was difficult to produce, just thinking about the insane cruelty.
This
that
dude's a
someone would
fucking
have
asshole.
to
Get ready
carry
to,
out,
like,
that
get
George
ready to start
Santos did
hating
carry
George
out in this
Santos.
case. But that man was scammed allegedly by George Santos because when he needed money to pay for a necessary surgery for his service animal, George Santos swooped in, engaged in a fundraising effort, and ran with the money.
Yup. Scumbag. Scum.
So what happened? So Sapphire
Scum of the
developed
earth,
a
dude.
life-threatening stomach tumor. And when Ostoff found out about it, he went to the vet, of course, and found out that a surgery would cost about $3,000. Now, we're talking about a homeless veteran who's living in a tent. Clearly, he didn't have the funds for it.
What the fuck,
A veterinary
man?
technician took...
Why do we have homeless veterans in the richest fucking country in the world? Huh? Why is it? Why do we have homeless veterans in the richest country? Like, it makes no sense. We have enough money to support these people. We should be able to fund their health care, fund their housing, fund their food, fund everything. Why are there homeless people, homeless veterans, at the very least? Why are there homeless veterans? There shouldn't be anyone homeless, but why homeless veterans? At least help them, for fucking God's sakes. Jesus.
Ostoff
Oh my
aside and told
God.
him, quote, "I know a guy who runs a pet charity who can help you. His name was Anthony DeVolder." also known as George Santos, by the way. And his pet charity was called Friends of Pets United, the vet tech told him. Now, that was when George Santos ended up putting a GoFundMe page up for Sapphire in order to raise money for Sapphire's surgery. But much like Santos's congressional campaign, his efforts turned out to be nothing more than a scam meant to enrich himself. Now, Osthoff and another New Jersey veteran, retired police sergeant Michael Bohl, who tried to intervene to help Osthoff in 2016, says that Santos closed the GoFundMe he set up for Sapphire after it raised $3,000 on social media.
That dude is garbage, man.
As you can imagine, Michael Bohl was furious about this. I contacted Santos and told him, you're messing with a veteran, and that he needed to give back the money or use it to get Osthoff another dog. He was totally uncooperative on the phone. Now, there were other issues too, like the fact that Santos told Osthoff that he needed to use a veterinarian that he knew in Queens, New York, rather than the veterinarian that he wanted to take the dog to in New Jersey. Santos claimed, no, you gotta go to this
fucking
vet
scumbag,
in
dude. That's so fucked up,
in Queens, specifically because I have a good working relationship with this individual. I have credits with him, and so you need to take the dog there. And he obliged, he listened. It was a tiny little hole in the wall place, but looked legitimate. The vet there said they couldn't operate on the tumor.
Oh my God.
Osthoff said, adding that he was confused because the New Jersey vet didn't express any similar concerns. So in other words, it seems like this veterinarian, if this person actually was a vet in Queens, told him something that might have been untrue, that the dog could not be operated on, because the vet in New Jersey said something completely different, that the tumor was operable, that they could do a surgery and take the tumor out. It would just cost a lot of money.
That's fucked up, man.
Now, Osthoff had one final phone conversation with Santos, who said that because he didn't do things my way, he put the GoFundMe money from Sapphire's fundraiser into the charity to use for other dogs. That's when Bohl jumped in, right? This is the other person who's a friend of Osthoff trying to help him out. And he told Santos that he couldn't do that because the money was specifically raised for the pit bull mix. Now, on November 13th, 2016, he urged Santos to let him take Sapphire to another vet, saying, quote, my dog is gonna die because of God knows what. And here's how Santos replied to him. Santos replied, remember, it is our credibility that got GoFundMe to contribute. What credibility? What credibility? Like, who are you? He continues to say, we are audited like every 501c3. Turns out, by the way, it was not a 501c3. So that was a lie. And we are with the highest standards of integrity, also a lie.
Liar.
Sapphire is not a candidate for this surgery. The funds are moved to the next animal in need, and we will make sure we use of resources to keep her comfortable. A lot of grammatical errors there. You guys get the point. Now, in December, the New York Times reported that the charity was not a registered nonprofit. So it was not a 501c,
what a fucking liar, dude.
That was a lie. There needs to be more of an investigation to figure out what this charity was, what happened with the funds that he raised through this so-called charity. But nonetheless, Santos disappeared after that. And we have some proof that this story is in fact true, because here is a screenshot from the Facebook post that Richard put up in 2016 when all of this went down. To everyone who helped me and Sapphire raise the money for her surgery, I'm sorry to say that we were scammed by Anthony DeVolder, again, that's George Santos, and Friends of Pets United through a series of bad veterinary contacts and subterfuge regarding payment. Sapphire has not received care, and her growth is 3 to 4 times bigger than it was when the campaign was fulfilled. She is facing euthanasia within months. And this is where the story gets really difficult.
Oh my God, dude.
Because
what a fucking demon,
this
man.
veteran's support animal, support dog.
What a fucking asshole, bro. Like, seriously?
Sapphire died on January 15th, 2017. After being
Dude,
out
what
of
the
work with a
fuck,
broken
man?
leg for over a year, Ostov couldn't afford the dog's euthanasia and
He literally had a
cremation.
broken leg. He couldn't work.
He said, I had to panhandle. It was one of the most degrading things I ever had to do,
Jesus
he
fucking
remembered.
Christ.
And he also said,
That shit's
he told,
making me really
Patch
sad,
the
guys.
following
Really fucking sad, man.
of his dog. Little girl never left my side in 10 years. I went through 2 bouts of seriously considering suicide.
Oh my
But
God.
thinking about leaving her without me saved my life. I loved that dog so much. I inhaled her last breaths when I had her euthanized.
Oh no.
The fact that George Santos scammed this person, a homeless vet,
dude.
and scammed this man to the point where his
What the
service animal
fuck,
had to
man?
die when
Oh
it
no.
might have been saved.
That is so
Just gives you a
fucked
sense
up.
of who this person really is, right? I mean, all of the insane lies, I mean, we've been dunking on him, making
is
fun
so
of him,
fucked
but
up,
this
bro.
goes to a completely different
Oh.
level. Just
Jesus
the
fucking
willingness to
Christ.
carry out this insanely
These people are
cruel
fucking
act,
evil,
this
man.
insanely
They're
cruel
literally
scam.
evil.
And when
And we have people voting
the
for
press
them.
reached
Like,
out to George Santos to ask about this, he
like
just
of
said
course people didn't
simply,
know yet, but
"Fake,
fuck me,
no clue
dude.
who this is." Well, the gentleman that you're pretending not to know has the receipts. The text
Oh,
exchanges.
man.
Screenshots of those text exchanges are readily available in the original reporting of this story. What happened to the money? What'd you do with it? There really does need to be an
Fucking stole
investigation
it, dude.
into not only George Santos's alleged charity, but more
Shit.
importantly, where did he get his money from? The money that he loaned to his own campaign. I mean, obviously, this wasn't a guy who was working at Goldman Sachs. He's lied about all
He
of
probably
his
had like a
credentials.
charity
He's
in
lied about his
Brazil where he
education.
scammed
He's lied
millions
about
of
his
people.
heritage.
I
He's lied
bet.
about everything. Where did the money come from?
I bet.
So there are potential campaign finance issues there, potential fraud
Oh,
issues,
man.
certainly when it comes to his alleged charity. And despite what a ghoul George Santos is,
Literally a
the
fucking
Republican
ghoul
Party,
from
the
Fallout.
Republican establishment has decided to reward him and his scamming ways by giving him committee assignments. Let's watch.
Oh my God, committee
Let's go back to
assignments,
Republicans sticking
dude.
by him. Today, the Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, said Santos will be seated
Look
on
at that
committees.
smirk on his face,
What do we
bro.
know so far about his assignments?
Well, we actually just found out within the last few minutes, news breaking, that Congressman Santos will serve on the Small Business Committee, which one of its main responsibilities is to oversee potential fraud within the...
Oh my God, they put him on a small business committee. They put him on a committee to oversee fraud. Think about that. They put a fraudster who scammed a homeless veteran who had a dog that had cancer. They put him to oversee small business committee fraud and shit. Wow. Republican Party. Good job.
PPP program that was quite popular during the pandemic, but there was a lot of back and forth about if some of that money was misused. So that's kind of the main area of focus for the Small Business Committee.
Incredible. Right?
Yep.
I mean,
What a
isn't it
fucking
so perfect?
loser, dude.
Have the guy who's clearly a fraudster oversee potential fraud related to businesses in America. And why would Kevin McCarthy, why would Republican leadership do this when they know that this guy is an insane pathological liar? If I were a Republican in the House of Representatives right now, I would be so embarrassed to be associated with someone like George Santos in any way, shape, or form.
Literally.
But the Republican Party rewarded him with committee assignments. Not only is he on the Small Business Committee, he's also going to be on the Science, Space, and Technology Committee. And look, Republican leadership did it. Kevin McCarthy did it because George Santos supported Kevin McCarthy in his bid to be Speaker of the House. At the end of the day, it's all about power. Always remember that.
Yep.
Kevin McCarthy does not give a damn about you.
Speaker of the House.
He doesn't give a damn about Republican voters. He doesn't give a damn about the American people or making this country a better place.
True.
Kevin McCarthy cares about Kevin McCarthy, much like most politicians in Congress today. And that's because the system incentivizes these ghouls to run for public office.
All right, that
When
was
you
a
have
good
a
video.
system that allows lawmakers to trade individual
we
stocks
have-
and enrich themselves with insider trading that goes on with impunity, it's going to attract the worst people in the country.
We have a few more
and
topics.
that's why Congress is just a massive dumpster fire. To see someone like George Santos get rewarded for his bad behavior is so incredibly depressing and honestly illustrative of some of the biggest problems we have in America today.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it.
Ooh, that was pretty good. So we caught up with everything about George Santos. We caught up about everything about Steven Crowder and Daily Wire and all that. Well, I mean, we could watch the whole let me see. Daily Wire. Jeremy. Let's watch our offer to Steven 11 days ago.
Our friend Steven Crowder has launched a new initiative called Stop Big Con. And in the video announcing the launch of the project, he talked about leaving.
This is part of the war with Steven Crowder. This has to do with the whole Steven Crowder versus Daily Wire. This is how it all started.
Blaze and all the different offers
how all
that
the
he
blackmail
fielded from
started.
other conservative organizations, and what he thought were the real problems with those offers. And that's led a lot of people to speculate about whether or not the Daily Wire is one of the people who made him an offer. In particular, are we the ones who made the offer that he put up on the screen and talked about at length?
Yes,
and
it
the answer
was.
is yes, that offer did come from
the
the Daily Wire. I'm not trying to hide that fact. I'm not ashamed of that fact. In fact, I think it's a very good offer. But I think there's a lot of
how old
sort
is
of
this guy,
misconceptions
dude? This
about
guy has like the
nature
whitest
of the
hair
offer,
ever.
The nature of the points. I think Steven misunderstood.
Is this father from Fallout 4? It's fucking white haired dude. I mean, his hair is kind of gray at the top, but look at his beard.
A lot of the points. And
Okay,
so
Witcher.
The way we
Witcher
do here at the
hair,
Daily
dude.
Wire, we're just going to be incredibly transparent. You know,
Witcher
we
hair.
like to have our members be a part of the journey. We live stream all of our company.
Bro, look at their office. It looks like such a fucking woke, fucking college SJW environment. All right, where are you at, Twitter? Where are you at, Twitter, before Elon took over? Look at your fucking studio, bro. It looks like the chillest place.
Town halls, for example, we just find that sunlight sometimes is the best disinfectant. And so
I wonder how
with that
many
in mind,
racists are
I'm
in
going to
there.
talk to you a little bit about how we came to be in conversations with Steven, how those conversations ended, and walk you just line by line through what the actual document that we sent over to him, a non-binding term sheet, what it actually said and why. First thing you should know is that I'm really miserable to be making this video. Steven's been my friend for 10 years. I think he's maybe the most talented person working in the conservative media space. He's one of the top entertainers in the country, politics notwithstanding.
My
a great,
friend.
comic voice. And I find it really tragic that we're having this kind of a conversation. But it's also very important, I think, that we talk about
My
it.
friend
in particular
Steven
because I know a lot of
backstabbed
people
me.
who are fans of the Daily Wire were really offended by the things that Steven said in the video, and they're concerned that maybe we're doing the wrong thing.
Let's
And
put
I
the
think
shit
that
on,
by the time we finish this video, you'll understand what we were thinking with our
Playback
term sheet
speed.
and how we operate as a business a little bit better. I've wanted to be in business with Steven since the day that I met him. Tried to do some even movie deals with
Oh my
Steven
god, no.
before there was CRTV and before
There was. What?
a Daily
Wire Plus.
For that entire
time.
time,
The various times.
about
About
getting together and doing things. Of course, For most of that time, he's been under contract for Sincere TV. And then at the Blaze.
All right, let me speed this shit up.
So we weren't able to, and but from time to time during the years, we would get together and daydream a little bit about would there be a future for us to work together.
This
together
shit's an
and
hour
we got
long,
word that Steven,
guys. Oh my
was finishing
god.
up his time at the Blaze and was interested in having a conversation with us, and so we reached out to his agent. And we said, listen, we'd love to have a conversation. It's not every day that a monster talent like Steven comes on the market. We'd be bad businessmen if we didn't engage.
A monster talent like Steven Crowder. Steven Crowder's not a monster talent. Maybe to conservatives he is, because conservatives have no fucking talent.
In a conversation
You guys are like a fucking talent black hole.
At that time, if there was a deal to be had, I mean, for one thing, we're friends with Glenn, we're friends with Tyler, we're friends with all the guys at the Blaze. We weren't sure that we wanted to commit to making an offer to Steven. And Steven's an expensive talent. I mean, he's been in business a long time. He has an enormous fan base, and we knew that it would take a lot of doing to get him over to the Daily Wire. This at the same time that we're investing very heavily in kids entertainment content and making,
kids entertainment content. They're gonna propagandize our kids. Leave our kids alone, Daily Wire.
Content streaming scripted fiction like the Pendragon Cycle and Atlas Shrugged and other projects that we've taken on. Would we have the resources? We weren't sure, but
listen, you lift me out of poverty, Daily Wire, and I'll gladly show for you for 6 years only, though. 6 years only.
Again, you have to have a conversation.
Unless I like The Office, okay?
And we were happy to have it. So we reach out to the agent and we say that. We'd like to have a conversation with Steven, kind of get into the details of what's he looking for, financially, what's he looking for in terms of structure, what would make his life better, what would make him happy. He's got this opportunity now to have a next chapter. What's he want that next chapter to be? And Steven's agent candidly just wasn't interested in any aspect of that conversation.
By the way, Steven's agent is Steven Crowder's dad, guys. Because Steven Crowder's dad basically booked every debate for Steven Crowder, including the one with Sam Cedar from The Majority Report. So Steven Crowder's agent is his dad, who also books everything. You know what I mean?
That conversation. He only wanted to know about the money.
So his dad might have basically screwed Steven out of money, because his dad probably thought they could make more. Like a fucking loser.
Said,
oh my god.
We're not going to have a conversation. We're going to have some abstract talk. We're going to send us an offer. Tell us how much money you're willing to pay. And he gave us an indication of what the minimum number would have to be in order to even have a discussion with Steven. And it's a big number. So we talked about it internally, and we decided, yeah, we should do that. We should send over an opening offer, a non-binding term sheet that takes a stab at what we think that minimum number is going to be to get the conversation started, so that we can sit down with Steven, so that we can see if there's a deal that'd be good for him and good for us. And that's what we did. We put together the term sheet. We sent it over, and we asked if we could get on the phone and have a conversation with Steven. I'm going to walk you through that document, what it says, what it doesn't say, some of how Steven represented it. I'm sure he feels like he was being accurate, but some of the things they said are simply not true based on the text. And Steven's a very passionate guy. I think that he's doing his level best to stand against what he sees as an injustice, but there is no injustice in this document, as I think you'll see. And then I'll tell you what happened right after we sent the document, when I finally did get on the phone with Steven.
Oh my god, hurry up, Jeremy, you fucking boring ass.
Term sheet. I was going to walk you through it, full transparency. This non-binding term sheet sets forth the basic deal points of a proposed content production and distribution agreement between the Daily Wire LLC, the Texas Limited Liability Company, and Steven Crowder via his loan out, so that if and when the parties elect to move forward with a long-form agreement, they can move quickly in preparing a definitive and binding agreement. That's just legalese. That means this is just a conversation starter, and we're obviously going to have a negotiation if we move forward, and a lot of these points are going to be.
We
and
got
for those of
it.
you who've never been through a contract negotiation, 2, the fee. Remember, this is the minimum number that we thought would get the conversation started with Steven. $50 million for the initial.
$50 million for the initial term, plus $25 million for the renewal term if extended, paid in monthly installments, guys.
Term, plus $25 million for the renewal term if extended, paid in monthly installments. Like I say, a pretty big number, but we thought for a talent like Steven, this is probably the minimum number that's going to get us in the door so that we can sit down and talk to him. 3, production costs. This is important. We've never made a deal quite like the offer that we put in front of Steven, because Steven, very independent guy. I mean, all of our talent have very independent voices. Obviously, we can't tell him what to say. Candace says what she wants, and Jordan Peterson says what he wants, Ben, Michael. But Steven has always built in this protection for himself that he wants to actually produce his content. He doesn't want most of our guys to come to the studio and we turn on the camera.
Why does this dude have a fucking crooked key on his, around his neck? He has a crooked key, bro. Is that the dungeon in his house where he's hiding something?
Cameras. We point the cameras, we point the lights. Steven likes to do that with his own team to just make doubly sure that no one's interfering with his content.
Is this where he's hiding the fucking Titan serum from Attack on Titan?
we would. And so we anticipated that.
That's
and
the
we said,
key right
Crowder
there,
will bear
guys.
the burden of production, including all costs associated therewith, on all the content contemplated herein, except on the quarterly and annual content contemplated below. We'll get to that part a little bit later. It's kind of a novel concept. The quality of the production will be as good as or better than is currently existing content. This just, again, Steven's going to produce his own content. It has to be as good as the stuff that Steven's audience has come to expect from him, and that'll come out of the $50 million. So it's not like all of that $50 million goes right in Steven's pocket. He's going to use some of it to pay for producers and studio space and camera equipment and operators and lights, just like we're going to use some of the money that we make to pay for the infrastructure and the technology and the marketing and the legal and all the other 2 original episodes a year if you factor in 4 weeks of vacation, including all ad reads and promotions.
So he gets 4 weeks of vacation off. And also, if he misses any days, he can just push it back and do that other episode or whatever whenever he wants.
As requested by us. So he's going to continue to produce his show, his Louder with Crowder show, 4 days a week, 192 times a year. And that'll include us being able to put ads in it and promotions in it. They'll be filmed in studio daily, Monday through Thursday. At least 1 hour of them will be outside the paywall. That's much how Steven already operates. That's the part that goes out on podcasting. It's the part that goes out on YouTube. It's the part that goes out on Rumble. And at least 30 minutes inside the DW Plus paywall. So in the same way that right now he has his Piss Off YouTube segment that has historically been at Blaze, well, he would still do that same kind of concept. 30 minutes of the show would now be behind our paywall. Crowder can bank or pre-record a limited number of episodes.
Okay, that seems pretty normal.
4 days a week, and you get 4 weeks off every year. His
4 weeks off every year.
We'd want him to 4 times a year come in and make a very well-produced promo, that gives us marketing assets to be able to go out and and
promos.
In the case of additional content not currently contemplated, then we pay him $15,000 a day for that shoot. And again, a lot of that would be days he's already shooting, so that's just a little extra money in his pocket if we do something extra. Item 6, the back catalog. Crowder will license his entire back catalog, including without limitation every past episode of Louder with Crowder, to us during the term.
This is what he doesn't like. Steven Crowder does not want to license all of his episodes to Daily Wire. He loves to be the he's a racism factory, but he doesn't want to outsource his racism factory to others, you know. Why does it keep fucking clicking out?
Twitter account. I've never asked him to tweet anything or not tweet that we create.
So yeah, Steven Crowder basically is just bitching for no reason. And I don't know if he's gonna make as much money as he could. He probably already does make a lot of money off his stupid Mug Club crap.
Or if he fails to include the ads that we agreed to or the promotions that we agreed to in those episodes, then we'll give a $100,000 reduction every time. What's that about? Well, again, you can't pay someone any amount of.
So every time he forgets an ad, they take off $100,000. Okay, that seems fair though.
This is saying is you don't have to produce a show every day. You don't have to produce 260 or 250 or 240 or 230 or 220 or 210 episodes a year. You got to produce 192 episodes a year. You can film some of them in advance. You can stack them up. All of that's contemplated in there. You can shoot on a Friday so that you can take 2 days off next week. But if you don't give us 192 episodes, we can't pay you the same amount of money as if you did give us 192 episodes. So this is just, you give us 192 times 4 minus 1, then out of your 50 million, we're hitting minus 100,000. Steven said that this is unfair, that if he had a sick day or got in a car wreck, we'd dock him $100,000. But I think that's.
But you can redo those days. They don't dock you that money, but you can. If you don't do that episode, they'll dock you the money. But we can push that back and do that another day. Steven Crowder's a fucking nimrod.
Totally inaccurate for 2 reasons.
Nimrod.
One, presumably if he was sick this Tuesday, he could just shoot an episode next Friday, and you'd be completely even. He's got an awful lot of extra time in the year to shoot these additional, to shoot any episodes to make up. And second of all, it's actually contemplated a little bit later what happens if there's a disability. In fact, we'll just skip right to it. It's item E. In the event of temporary disability or serious illness that prevents Crowder from performing, the fee will be reduced on a pro rata basis, not subject to the fee reduction mentioned above. What does that mean? Well, instead of a sort of punitive fee because he's choosing not to do the right thing, in that situation, you'll just reduce it by dividing the total amount of money contemplated, by the number of episodes, just subtract that, which I think is, again, incredibly fair. If you're being paid $1 for every box you deliver 10 boxes, you get $10. If you deliver 9 boxes, well, this is the most important, most expensive content. If you were supposed to have done a complete documentary this year and you didn't deliver it, well, we're going to subtract $1 million because that's one of the most important high-value pieces of content that we asked you to make that year. And then D just says reset. The fee reduces each calendar year.
Okay. So Steven Crowder basically just bitching for no reason.
And we're not able to replace that revenue within 90 days. Then his fee will be reduced by 25%.
This is something he was crying about. Like if Steven Crowder doesn't make enough money from ads or is dropped by YouTube, he will lose money, which is okay because I guess he paywalls a lot. He could paywall a lot of the new content if he gets banned. But this is something he was this is one of the things he was really blowing a fuss about, making a big fuss about.
Restored for a period of 90 days, and then it would all reset. Steven says all the left does is boycott our advertisers. So this just says to the left, your boycotts work and we'll enforce it for you. We will punish the content creator for you. But this isn't about punishing the content creator. This is about if the Daily Wire is going to leverage, I can't stress it, probably $100 million by the time you have marketing and infrastructure costs, by the time you pay for all the legal compliance, all the technology that it takes to support Stephen's show and Stephen's show, even at the price that we offered for it.
Legal costs. Republicans, all they do is do false lawsuits. Like the Daily Wire said they're gonna sue YouTube over something. They never did a lawsuit. They lied about that. These fucking stupid lawsuits that just keep people at bay and scare people off.
Which he would have wanted much more, at least $100 million. Obviously, if the show makes dramatically less money, well, then Stephen has to make less money because we're making less money. And I brought this up to Stephen on the
All right, this is boring, guys. Let's move on to the next thing. This is Lil Dicky. He's a good artist. I love him. I love him a lot. You know, I want to meet him one day. And I was thinking one day, because when you watch this, right, it's about the Earth. It's like a climate-friendly, music video. I don't know how much we can play of it, but there is a segment that has Kanye West in it. He was supposed to star in this, but he never does. And I wonder why. Was it because of the whole, you know, Nazi situation? Like, was Kanye at this time in the whole brain rot, conspiracy theory, brain wormhole that led into the whole fascism, Jewish people bad? Because Lil Dicky is Jewish, and he invited Kanye to do a bit in this song, Earth. See right here? He was supposed to be Kanye. Kanye was supposed to do himself, but it wasn't done by Kanye. Someone had to take Kanye's place because Kanye didn't want to do it. And the person that took his place was not Will Smith. Who's that guy that got slapped? Who's the guy that got slapped recently? Kevin Hart. So Kanye's voice in this song was recorded by Kevin Hart because Kanye wasn't around. So I wonder why Kanye didn't want to do this. Is it because Lil Dicky is Jewish? What do you guys think about this? Let me know. Let me know. I really hope this picks up because I really want to know what other people think about this. Because Kanye really let Lil Dicky down here, man. So yeah, that's one thing I was just wondering. That's my little conspiracy segment. I'm wondering, why did Kanye not do the Lil Dicky Earth video? Why did Kevin Hart have to take his place? And I'm Kanye West. So why did Kevin Hart have to do the role? Was Kanye anti-Semitic at this point? And does he hate Lil Dicky? Does he not like Lil Dicky because Lil Dicky is Jewish? I don't know, guys. Yeah, I don't know. I think Kanye was going down the whole fascist rabbit hole, and I think that's why he didn't do Earth. So yeah, that's what I think about this. Let's move on to our next segment. Bell the fifth column, reacting to the Memphis police shooting.
Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So today we are going to talk about things going away and whether or not it can be accepted at face value and whether or not it's a hopeful sign. And we will talk about movies, and you'll get a little bit of trivia about a movie that I think a lot of people have seen. If you've missed the news, up there in Memphis, they have decided to get rid of the Scorpion team. This is the team that was responsible.
Yeah, the team that was responsible for killing Tyree Nichols.
And I've had a lot of people ask if I thought that was in good faith. No, no, definitely not. No, I do not believe it's in good faith. They're talking about disbanding the team permanently. Yeah, that's fine. I haven't heard a disavowal of the strategy behind it. You know, the idea of creating a plainclothes force within a force that has a whole lot of leeway in a very vague mission that, you know, kind of does what it wants to via saturation and wolf pack type stuff. Haven't heard a disavowal of that. I mean, let's be real. When you have 13 to, 12% of... That's a coincidence. It really is 13 to 12% of the officers on that team that are currently in cuffs. Wow. You kind of have to get rid of the team. You have a scheduling issue. But I haven't heard a disavowal of that strategy. Even though Crump, the family's attorney, by the way, if you're concerned, they are in very good hands, he's asked for it. And it seems like he keeps getting more and more information about other things that the team has done. Closing it down? I mean, okay. Yeah, makes sense, I guess. But you have to disavow the strategy.
Yep.
When the Scorpion program first started up there, Memphis PD was putting out press releases talking about how much money and cars they had seized, stuff like that. That's what the department gets out of it. What's the community get out of it? Tragedy. Tragedy. What's the American people get out of it? Movies. TV shows. Movies and TV shows. We get training day. We get training day. Denzel Washington mimicked the style of Officer Rafael Perez to make his cop more authentic. Perez was part of the crash team out there, not Scorpion. Different acronym.
Different name.
And there are some people who think that the vehicle plate, ORP 967, in the movie, is a reference to Officer Rafael Perez, who was born, incidentally, in 1967. Perez was a pretty big figure in the Rampart scandal.
I doubt it.
What's the Rampart scandal? The Shield. Vic Mackey, that show. Yeah. The fact that these type of teams lead to problems, it's not a secret. It's a trope. It's a movie trope. First one I can think of that is loosely based on real events is Extreme Justice.
Yeah, it literally is a movie
trope. It had Lou
trope.
Diamond Phillips in it.
Literally.
That's how long this has been going on. Hollywood figured it out. Hollywood understands what happens when you provide that much unchecked authority. I guess police departments are just slower to learn this fact. Another interesting thing about Perez, when it comes to all of those allegations that Crump keeps finding about, Perez flipped. He cooperated. And I want to say flipped on more than 50 cops.
Wow.
I really hope that during the move, after closing down the Scorpion team, I really hope the records aren't lost.
Uh-oh, yep.
I have a feeling
they're going to burn it
that
down.
some people may want to look at those in the future.
They probably killed a bunch of people.
The idea.
Imagine everybody
of
else.
These type of teams. It's been around for a really long time. And there are all types of things that have entered popular culture that are based on real events that you would know. Teams like this lead to problems.
Yeah,
Do
fuck
I
the
believe
Scorpion
it's in
team,
good faith
dude.
when they're not disavowing that strategy? No. They knew it was a Scorpion when they picked it up. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.
So I love Bo. I love Bo, the fifth column. He's a dope guy. Let's check out what TYT has about the whole situation.
Every day, the Young Turks delivers
shootings or whatever. Nice. Walmart gets a raise. Before we do the last bit, where's the thing about Tyree Nichols? Tyree Nickel. Here it is.
When you saw it,
understand. I gotta be careful with this.
I was outraged. It was
Viewers beware.
to me. It was unconscionable.
Oh, look around for TOS.
I felt that I needed to do something and do something quickly.
Okay, there's an image
I don't think
here.
I've witnessed anything of that nature in my entire career.
We're gonna skip around the image of him like bloodied and stuff.
That is Memphis Police Chief Sarah Lynn C.J. Davis explaining what we'll see in the arrest footage of Tyree Nichols, which is set to release sometime right about now, this evening. Davis claims that the footage shows an event as bad, if not worse, than the beating of Rodney King. Content warning, the image you're about to see is very graphic. Viewer discretion.
Oh, man. Let's skip past that. Oh, shit. They beat him up.
Cause was, and we have not been able to substantiate that.
They
Doesn't
fucking
mean something didn't
they
happen,
messed
but
the
there
dude
is
up.
no proof, according to the police chief. It seems the policemen were looking for a fight when they pulled Tyree over that evening. From the beginning of the encounter, the chief said, the officers involved were riled up. Quote, the escalation was already at a high level, Davis said. The nature of the traffic stop was very aggressive with loud communication and escalated from there, she told CNN. And here's what happened next. Take a look at some more video.
Yeah, you know the police union isn't going to defend this shit.
The nature of the stop.
You know the
very
police union.
aggressive.
The police union is not going to fucking defend this shit. The police union is so fucking corrupt. They know the officers are black, first of all. So that's already a strike against the officers. If they were white officers, that this might have not happened this way. If the beating wasn't as brutal, it might also not have happened this way.
Loud, communication, and it just rose from there. It escalated from there. Mr. Nichols was able to get away from these officers, and they found him again at another location. And at that point, there was an amount of aggression that is unexplainable.
Chief Davis went on to say in the video that you can hear Tyree call out for his mom.
Oh my God.
Ben Crump, an attorney for the Nichols family, said Nichols was tased, pepper sprayed, and restrained during the encounter. Another of the family's attorneys, Antonio Romanucci, said police beat Nichols for 3 full minutes. He was a human piñata for those police officers, Romanucci said, adding at one point that the video showed an unadulterated, unabashed, non-stop beating. When he said this, he was standing next to Tyree's mother, who openly wept at hearing that description of the brutal beating of her son.
Dude, it's crazy that, like no matter if a cop is white or black, they're cops. Cops are on the cop team. You're either blue or you're brass. You're either civilian or you're part of the team, okay? And the very fact that shit happens is just so fucking like heartbreaking, man. Like, rest in peace, Tyree.
After the police finished beating Tyree, they failed to immediately request medical assistance as well.
And imagine being tased, pepper sprayed, and beaten the hell up. All within the same time span. You know what I mean? Like, you can't breathe, you're being tased, so you're being shocked and shit, you're cramping up, and you're being beat up. You're gonna die. Like, you can't, there's no way you're gonna survive that, bro.
There was an elapsed period of time before getting medical help for Nichols after he was injured during the traffic stop by Memphis police officers, Mulroy said. After some period of time of waiting around afterward, he was taken away by an ambulance. Tyree's stepfather, who has seen the police officer's body cam footage, said this: "The most telling thing about the video to me was the fact that it was maybe 10 officers on the scene and nobody tried to stop it, or even after they beat him and they propped him up against the car, no one rendered aid to him whatsoever. They walked around smoking cigarettes like it was all calm and like, you know, bragging about what happened. He was sitting there and then he slumped over and an officer walked over to him and said, 'Sit back up,' while he's handcuffed. So he had to. They prop him back up and he slumped over again and they prop him back up again, but no one was rendering aid.
Wow.
I saw some fire department people come out and they just walked around and nobody showed him any aid, and they're supposed to be trained in first aid. By the time the paramedic truck pulled up,
that's
when we couldn't see anything because the paramedic truck blocked the camera." 3 days later, Tyree died of excessive bleeding. An autopsy has yet to be released. Last week, all 5 of the officers were fired and discharged, the only bit of justice so far we've had here. Very swift action to fire and charge these officers. Martin III, Smith, Bean, Haley, and Mills Jr. have each been charged with second-degree murder, aggravated assault, 2 charges of aggravated kidnapping, 2 charges of official misconduct, and 1 charge of official oppression, according to both Shelby County Criminal Court and Shelby County Jail records. Additionally, 2 Memphis Fire Department employees who gave Tyree initial care have been fired. Tyree leaves behind a 4-year-old son. The details of this are so tragic, so gruesome, so sad. Cenk, I would love to hear your comments.
Yeah, so another heartbreaking detail. His mom, while at the press conference, was explaining they found out. So there's 2 incidents. One, they start beating him, apparently gets away from them, runs away, understandably so. They catch him again, and then that's when they beat him to death. And at that point, he was apparently just steps away from his house. And the last 3 things he said were all crying out for his mom. And she said when she found that out, she just couldn't bear it. He's
wow.
Like, my job's to help him. And he was right there, and I didn't hear it.
Wow.
So, what makes these 5 guys beat a man to death like that?
Was fucked up, bro.
Look, credit to the police chief, took immediate action, fired, arrested, etc. So that's the most important.
It's in the police culture. It's in policing. Policing itself, it's fucked up.
It was against training. Was it? Because there was 10 other officers that were just sitting around. Nobody thought it was unusual. It wasn't 1 officer that beat him. It was 5 officers that beat him. None of them thought it was unusual. Why don't they think it's unusual? Why doesn't any other profession act with this kind of wanton cruelty on a regular basis? Because we teach them to be cruel.
Yeah.
They think it's perfectly normal.
True.
And does class and race matter? Come
No,
on, guys.
it does not.
Look, let's just talk about class for a second.
Class matters a little bit more than race.
Is there any chance those cops would have beat up
it matters way more.
a rich man in a rich part of town like that?
They would not. They would not. They would not.
Mean, the only people right now, black, white, it doesn't matter. Okay,
They
the
would
only
not.
people saying, "Oh, they would have done the same to somebody like that in a rich part of town."
No, they wouldn't.
Or rich people, because they don't know.
They don't
They
know
think
that.
cops treat everybody.
That's fucking
with kid
lying.
gloves and treat them with respect and etc. And the cops are there to serve them. No, that's mainly for rich folks. There's no way they would have done
Cops
this
are
to a
there
rich
to
person.
defend property.
No way.
If you're rich, if you own a company, you're good.
Everyone outside of the top 1% knows that.
You're good.
Okay, now on to race. Look, Jackson, I'll ask you about it. I hear oftentimes, and we've covered it on the show as part of news stories, that it's the 5 cops who did it are all black, but that there's like a culture of, oh yeah, I'm going to be even more vicious to black people to show how much I belong, etc. So, I don't know. Tell me what your take on this.
Well, in regards to that, that can be a thing, but it's a lot. Whether it's a police officer who's white or black, if you are of the mindset that it's your turn, to be the big guy, then you tend to take it out on people you're most familiar with. So, like, among the black community, police aren't typically practically they're not popular. So if you're a black police officer, oftentimes that would put you in a psychological position where, like, my own people don't like me. So in regards to that, that's why it would play into it. But what's clear about this attack is this goes far beyond anything about, like someone getting pulled over and shot or police just shooting a man. They beat this man to death savagely.
They beat him to death, bro.
There was nothing but intention and sadism in this attack. And like you pointed out, if they knew that he was rich, even if he was black, they wouldn't have necessarily beat him up like that, because wealthy people can win court cases. Look at the disparities when people get caught, pulled over with little bags of cocaine. Actually, a friend of mine in St. Louis recently went through this, got pulled over with a little bag of cocaine. He's out now, but they tried to say, oh, there's fentanyl in it, and they was gonna hold him and charge him. But if he had money, they wouldn't have never held him in the first place at all. But this is just authority protecting his position of power. And police officers who do stuff like this, anything similar to this, they do it because they want to, because they absolutely don't need to do this.
Yeah.
They wanted to do it, so they did it. And like
True.
you said, there's a culture of it. All the other police officers standing around didn't do anything to stop it. So, I mean, this is disgusting all the way through.
I just can't even understand these days how, even though this level of evil, this level of malice exists in people in a time before cell phone cameras, but we've now been decades with cell phone cameras. We've been decades with the ability for these things to be exposed. I don't even understand why people do it knowing that they're going to be caught. They have body cameras on them that are recording.
They don't care,
this.
man.
Ben, I know why. Because police departments across the country,
They protect them.
usually bury the evidence.
Yep.
Unless it somehow leaks to the press and people get mad about it.
Yep.
I guarantee you that, I don't know what the number is. I'm not going to pretend I know it, but it appears that an overwhelming majority of the cases,
black people,
when they have a case of police abusing people, they brush it under the rug.
Yep.
I mean, why else would people think, oh yeah, I could beat a man to death? The 5 of us getting up on him when we have guns and we have all these things. He has nothing. He didn't even do anything wrong. We'd all do it because they thought that it was normal. They thought they were going to get away with it. Why? People aren't that irrational. The reason is because they almost always get away with it. I guarantee they were stunned to find out that they were going to get punished.
But that's for them sweeping it under the rug within a department. But people shoot these things on their own cell phones. Civilians do, and can release it and upload it. And so it doesn't stay within the purview of a police department. That's where I don't get it still. It's like blind rage takes over.
Yeah, I mean, that, again, like if you beat someone like that, you're obviously filled with rage and anger. And rather enjoy it, you know, like if you're caught up in the moment like that. But like Shank pointed out, I mean, what are the consequences?
Yeah.
You know, they may get a lot of hatred from the public, but within, you know, the thin blue line group, they're very popular. So they can just stick to that crowd. You know, or people like the Andrew Tates, you know what I'm saying? Like the normies would look at him and be like, oh, he's so ridiculous. But there's always, because of the internet, it allows us to congregate together. So they just put all their attention on the people who support them. And there's a lot of people who support this type of violence from the police. You know, no consequences.
Yeah, there's no way that they do that if they didn't think that it was within the range of normal. The three of us and two other guys would never find a random guy and beat the living crap out of him and thinking there might even be cameras around, etc. No one would do that unless they thought, oh yeah, of course I'm going to get away with it. Like they didn't know he was going to die, but look, you're telling me those guys never beat someone before when they weren't supposed to?
Yeah,
I bet you they did it 200 times.
I bet they've done it a million.
This just happened to be the last one where they got caught.
A million
the guy died.
times.
So, and it's not just them. Look, guys, not all cops are bad, of course, right? And not every black cop's trying to prove to the white cops that they belong and all those different psychological things. No, there's plenty of good cops, of course. But as a general thing, are they taught who gives a damn about the citizens?
Yeah.
Just beat the crap out of them and make sure that they never disrespect you. They make it seem like, oh, you disrespected me, so I get to break your neck, and his neck was broken.
Oh my
and
God.
I get to, you know, do all these horrific things to you.
His
No,
neck was
disrespecting
fucking
someone does not mean
broken.
that 5 guys get to beat the other guy to death. That's just insanity. But the next time you see a thin blue line flag, which I see all over the place, understand those are the guys going, attaboy.
Yep.
Well, in a little bit of breaking news, the video has just been released. And so let's pray for justice in this case. And let's also pray for peace in Memphis tonight, because understandably people will be very, very upset.
Royally pissed. Oh, got it.
Damn, I didn't do anything.
Oh shit, bro, that's fucked up. So he runs away. The cops are so fucking stupid. The cops literally pepper sprayed each other. Like dumb fucking idiots. Oh, so they're beating him up. Shit, bro. I actually need to watch that off camera when I'm done here. Well, that was Tyree Nichols, man. Rest in peace, my dude. Killed by fucking pigs, bro. Anyways, let's get to this story that I saw recently. Parents react to empty classroom library shelves as DCPS continues book review. So Florida is on a book banning spree.
Empty bookshelves at a local middle school. Parents tell News4Jax that teachers and librarians at their kids' schools were told to pack up the books for review.
So it actually blew my mind that we were living in a world where we were removing books from classrooms.
Yeah, we are. We're fucking.
This week, schools
we're living in a
have been
world.
complying with state law requiring the approval.
We're living
of
in.
books in
Oh my
classroom
god, are you
libraries.
serious, dude? We're living in a world where fascists win public office and fascists win local representative positions, and then they put in stupid laws to basically filter through books that talk about racism or Nazis or fascism or LGBTQ, or which is funny because the Nazis back in Nazi Germany burned the first LGBT. They burnt the first trans library, I think, basically.
News4Jax reporter Marilyn Parker joining us live from the Duval County School Board headquarters. Marilyn, is that video part of schools complying with the state law?
Yes, and News4Jax viewers have been reaching out to us about it all week. DCPS says that they are conducting formal reviews of classroom libraries. They made the announcement on Monday, but it came as a shock to lots of parents and students. They want to know when these books will be returned or replaced. During the middle of Literacy Week at Mandarin Middle School, all the books in the library were gone.
How do we live in a world where books are being banned from the classroom?
Brian Covey says his kids attend Greenland Pines, and the books there were also taken this week.
They said that before school, all the teachers had to pack up their stuff. The librarian apparently tearfully announced that she no longer had a resource class to do, and she had to review all the books in the school.
A teacher in Manatee County this week covered up the books in his classroom and put up a sign that reads, "Closed by order of the governor." Florida state law says teachers must cross-reference their libraries with a list of pre-approved books. A trained media specialist will vet any books that are not on the list. The law requires books to
Ron
be free
DeSantis
from pornography, instruction on sexual orientation or gender identity in kindergarten through 3rd grade, and discrimination in a...
It's so fucking stupid how they basically put pornography and gender orientation into the same category. Like, if you talk about your gender or whatever, your orientation, if you're like, you know, bi or straight, they think that's pornography or sexual. Like, what? They're literally banning a book that has like a mouse. It's literally a mouse with no clothes on it. It's a mouse. No, there's no genitals or nothing. It's just a fucking mouse. And they're fucking banning it, dude. There's like, oh my god.
way that an individual, by virtue of his or her race, color, sex, or national origin, is inherently racist or oppressive, whether consciously or unconsciously.
I don't know a single teacher who would come across an inappropriate book in their classroom and wouldn't remove it.
Educators who violate this law could face a 3rd-degree felony. Duval County Schools announced Monday they're taking further steps to comply with state laws. Covey says he can't blame the school district, but thinks it's punishing students.
It's hurting their education. I have a feeling it's a lot to do with the same as African American studies and in trying to control what kids can and cannot learn.
DCPS says the district will soon provide school
Florida
staff with
doesn't want kids to learn about African American studies. They don't want kids to learn about MLK. They don't want kids to learn about slavery. They don't want kids to learn how bad it is. They don't want kids to learn about Nazi Germany, how bad. They don't want kids to learn about anything that's bad. Because they want kids to repeat the bad things in the future. They want our children to repeat the fucking worst events in history.
Specific guidance on the review process. Covey says that a book fair was happening at his kid's school while those books in the library were being removed. DCPS says once a book is deemed appropriate, it's going to be added to a public database that the community and parents will have access to. That's where they can see each book that will be available to their kids. Reporting live, Marilyn Parker,
Fuck
Channel
that,
4.
bro. Just buy your own books. Order your own books online, guys. Okay? Before we go, I want to do one more thing because this is gonna be a funny video whenever I get to edit this up. Let's go to Charlie Kirk, dolphin fetus. Have you guys seen this? This is the funniest shit, guys. Check this out. The best comedian, Ben Glebe.
Let me even show you a photo, if I may, okay?
Actually, let me put the volume up a bit.
Let me even show you a photo, if I may, okay? Do you truly, in your heart of hearts, truly...
Let me go back one more time.
Photo, if I may, okay? Do you truly, in your heart of hearts, truly believe that this is a human being? This,
without a doubt.
Without a doubt?
Yes.
This is a dolphin fetus.
So let me.
Without a doubt, a dolphin fetus is a human being. This is a human fetus. Look how similar they look, but quite different. Dolphin. You just confirmed that a dolphin in life. Do you confuse dolphins for human babies often?
So let me.
You go to SeaWorld and you're like, someone's got human babies in that aquarium. Get the human babies out of the aquarium.
Well, you labeled it as a human fetus.
No,
so
I did not.
Uh-huh.
No, I did not. I didn't label it as anything.
He got wrecked. Got fucking wrecked, bro. That's the best clip, guys. Alright, well, I think I'm going to end this here. I am very tired. I will watch this, though. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And I thank you guys for popping in and out and, you know, leaving your support and following. I really love you guys. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, too. So, see you guys next time.